a WikiVidi documentaries production. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Enjoy. Thar Carter 3. Thar Carter 3 is the sixth studio album by American rapper Lil Wayne. Released on June 10, 2008, by Cash Money and Universal Motown. It follows a long string of mixtape releases and guest appearances on other hip-hop and R&B artists' records, helping to increase his exposure in the mainstream. The album's cover art features a baby picture of Wayne and is similar to covers of hip-hop albums such as Nas' Illmatic and Notorious B.I.G.'s Ready to Die. Amid release delays and leaks, Thar Carter 3 became one of the most anticipated releases of 2008. The album debuted at number 1 on the US Billboard 200 chart, selling 1,006,000 copies in its first week. It reached sales of 2.88 million copies by the end of 2008 and produced 4 singles that achieved chart success, including the international hit, Lollipop, and Billboard hits, Milli, Got Money, and Mrs. Officer. Upon its release, Thar Carter 3 received universal acclaim from music critics and earned Lil Wayne several accolades, including a spot on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. It has been certified triple platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America and has sold 3.6 million copies in the United States. Thar Carter 3 features appearances from Jay-Z, T-Pain, Robin Thicke, Busta Rhymes, and Kanye West, among others. It also features Static Major, who is credited posthumously following his death in February 2008. Background and recording. Lil Wayne stated that producers would include The Alchemist, Cool, and Dre, Diesel, Jim Johnson, Just Blaze, Kanye West, Mannie Fresh, The Runners, Timbaland, Danger, and will.i.am. In an interview with hiphopcanada.com, Solitaire of the Black Jays stated that he and Cypher Sounds produced a track called Outstanding, which later eventually leaked. The Runners have stated that they have produced 3 tracks for Thar Carter 3. Lil Wayne revealed that he has a track for Eminem, which he has yet to send to him. He described this song as the craziest. Some believe that his request was turned down, but it most likely turned into Drop the World. On his 2010 album Rebirth, the album features guest appearances by Fabulous, T-Pain, Briscoe, Bobby V, Babyface, Betty Wright, Static Major, Robin Thicke, Jay-Z, Jules Santana, and Busta Rhymes. MTV reported that Wyclef Jean worked on a couple of tracks for the album and that a song featuring Justin Timberlake, Nelly Furtado, and Timbaland was likely to appear on the album. However, that Timbaland-produced track did not make the final cut. David Banner confirmed that he will be credited for 5 tracks on the final cut of Thar Carter 3, but only one is featured on the album. After the copyright controversy of Playing with Fire, the track was later removed and replaced with another David Banner-produced track, Pussy Monster. Swizz Beatz stated he was also working on the album. When asked about how many tracks Kanye West had contributed, he answered, "Music." Thar Carter 3's lead single, Lollipop, peaked at number 1 on the US Billboard Hot 100, staying at the top for 3 weeks. It was Wayne's most successful solo single in his career, winning 1 Grammy Award, a BET Award, and an MTV VMA. The song was praised as an electro-bump in '.infectious track, perceived as more of a bubblegum pop track than rap. The second track on the album, Mr. Carter, was nominated for a Grammy while also peaking within the Hot 100. It was praised for featuring Jay-Z, which was seen as Jay-Z passing the throne to Wayne. The second single, Milli, was a top 10 hit and was praised as one of the best songs of 2008. The song garnered countless freestyles and remixes, while Wayne's original version was praised with Spectacular Rhyme. Dr. Carter, the 6th track, was also praised for lyrical content and humor as Wayne took on the persona of a doctor performing surgery on various patients. Tie My Hands, featuring Robin Thicke, was praised as a deep track featuring political commentary and despair, with Thicke's performance being the most complimentary to Wayne. Phone Home also features various alien metaphors reminiscent of the film E.T. the Extraterrestrial. Leaks. After most of the album leaked on the internet in mid-2007, Lil Wayne used the leaked tracks, plus 4 new songs to make an album titled The Leak. The leak was to be officially released on December 18, 2007. With the actual album being delayed until June 10, 2008. When questioned about the unplanned leak, Lil Wayne said, "On May 24, 2008, 10-second snippets of multiple songs were leaked onto a Tant Media Mall. On May 30, 31, Thar Carter 3 was leaked internationally. The first of the leaks were distributed on May 30 at around 8 p.m. where 5 songs from the track list were available on the internet. Hours later on May 31 at 12 a.m. 1 a.m. the whole album was leaked and posted on various websites for free download." The DJ responsible for the leaks was DJ Chuck T, who retaliated for an interview conducted by Wayne, where he discredited all DJs in the mixtape scene days before. Lil Wayne later called DJ Drama's radio show Shade 45 Sirius Satellite Radio to explain that his comments were meant specifically for DJ Empire, who leaked his materials periodically without his permission, consent, or knowledge. He also apologized for any misunderstandings between him and the numerous DJs that have aided him in the mixtape industry. He made it clear, however, that he wished for any feelings of dislike or resentment to remain. Singles. The album's lead single, Lollipop, topped the US Billboard Hot 100 for 5 non-consecutive weeks, making it Wayne's most successful single in his career. It features rapper Static Major. The album's second single, Milli, was another top 10. It reached on the Billboard Hot 100. It also won a Grammy for Best Rap Song. The video for the second single, Milli, was set to be released in May, and has since been mainstreamed. Multiple versions of the track were to be included on the album as skit-like tracks, featuring artists such as Tyga, Corey Gunz, Hurricane Chris, and Lil Mama. Another artist, 13-year-old Lil Chucky, was also set to appear on one of the Milli skits. None of the skits made the final cut of the album. The third single is Got Money, featuring T-Pain. It reached 0 on the Billboard Hot 100. The fourth single is Mrs. Officer, featuring Bobby Valentino. It made the top 20 in just 4 weeks. Comfortable was sent to American Rhythmic Contemporary Radio as the album's fifth and final single on September 29. 2008. Lollipop, Milli, Got Money, and another track, Mr. Carter, were nominated for a Grammy. Lil Wayne also performed Tie My Hands with Robin Thicke at the 51st Grammy Awards. The album also featured the releases of promo singles. 3-Peat peaked at number 66 on the Billboard 100. You Ain't Got Nothing, featuring Fabulous and Jules Santana, was released as a promo single, peaking at number 81 on the Billboard 100. Mr. Carter, featuring Jay-Z, peaked at number 62 on the Billboard 100, number 27 on the Hot R&B/Hip Hop Songs chart, and number 13 on the Top Rap Songs. It was nominated for a Grammy for Best Rap Performance by a Duo or a Group in 2009. Lawsuits. On July 24, 2008, ABKCO Music Incorporated filed a lawsuit against Lil Wayne for copyright infringement and unfair competition, specifically referring to the track, Playing with Fire. In the lawsuit, ABKCO claims that the song was obviously derived from the Rolling Stones' Play with Fire, to which ABKCO owns the rights. Subsequently, Playing with Fire was removed from the tracklist of Thar Carter 3 on all online music stores and replaced with a David Banner-produced track, Pussy Monster. On March 2011, producer Diesel sued Wayne and his parent labels Cash Money Records over unpaid royalties from the Carter 3 album. On May 2011, producer Bangladesh also filed a lawsuit against Weezy and Company over unpaid royalties. In early June 2011, another producer named David Kirkwood filed a lawsuit against Young Money Entertainment and Cash Money Records on claims that the labels have failed to pay him over $1.5 million in royalties and production services for his work on the album, also including his songwriting on Love Me or Hate Me, a bonus song featured only on the deluxe edition of the album. Also in June 2011, Dallas producers Play and Skills filed a lawsuit against him claiming Wayne owed them at least $1 million in unpaid royalties for Got Money from The Carter 3. Critical reception. The Carter 3 received universal acclaim from music critics. At Metacritic, which assigns a normalized rating out of 100 to reviews from mainstream critics, the album received an average score of 84, based on 26 reviews. AllMusic editor David Jeffries praised Wayne's entertaining wordplay and plenty of well-executed, left-field ideas. The Guardian's Alex McPherson lauded Wayne's rapping, stating, "Just trying to keep up with Wayne's mind as he proves the case is a thrill. He breaks language down into building blocks for new metaphors, exploiting every possible semantic and phonetic loophole for humor, and yanking pop culture references into startling new contexts." Jonah Weiner of Blender called it a weird, gripping triumph. Rolling Stone writer Jody Rosen commended its themes and stated, "This isn't a mixtape. It's a suite of songs, paced and sequenced for maximum impact." John Perales of the New York Times commented that Wayne has clearly worked to make The Carter 3 a statement of its own, one that moves beyond standard hip-hop boasting to thoughts that can be introspective or gleefully unhinged. Pitchfork's Ryan Domble stated, "He distills the myriad metaphors, convulsing flows, and vein-splitting emotions into a commercially gratifying package." In his consumer guide for MSN Music, critic Robert Christgau noted that, "Every track attends to detail," and quipped, "From the start you know this is no mixtape, because it's clearer and more forceful." Uncut stated that, "The Prince of Hip-Hop gets a blessing from the King." Mossy Reeves of Paste gave it a favorable review and noted that the album harkens to when rap meant rap, Isaac Hayes talking for days about some girl he broke with, or Bobby Womack signifying while strumming a blues guitar. Nathan Rabin of the AV Club called Lil Wayne the man of the moment, but the disc's best moments strive for timelessness and attain it. The Washington Post's J. Freedom Dulac commended Wayne for his impulses to be outrageous and unconventional, calling him a nonsensical genius, but found the album uneven. Tom Brayan of The Village Voice described it as a sprawling mess, and it clangs nearly as often as it clicks, and a work of staggering heights and maddening inconsistencies, but commended Wayne for his unconventional performance, stating, "On paper, this is a textbook focus grouped major label hodgepodge, replete with girl songs and club songs and street songs. But every facet of the album comes animated and atomized by Wayne's absurdist drug-gobbling persona." Drew Hinshaw of Pop Matters stated, "The Carter 3 is a monumental album full of powerful, self-defeating statements that obliterate rap's internal logic without offering too much more than indifferent bong logic in return." Judged, however, as a collection of singles and quotable verses, the criteria on which we've been grading hip-hop records since the end of disco, The Carter 3 is an agonizing piece of work. Jeff Weiss of the Los Angeles Times found it scattershot, stating, "When Wayne's mad alchemy works, The Carter 3 evinces shades of brilliance that merit the wild hype, but in its transparent attempts to define its era, it fails, falling victim to the imperial bloat of its big-budget mishmash of styles." John Karamanico of Entertainment Weekly wrote that, This schizoid album is alternately mesmerizing and inscrutable. Slant Magazine's Dave Hughes viewed that it lacks a focus as an album, and stated, "While there are a lot of great moments here, Carter III is not the definitive statement of Wayne's mastery that he clearly intended it to be." Brandon Perkins of URB commented that, as a sum of its parts, Carter III does not transcend, but a good number of those parts are otherworldly enough. Julian Benbow of the Boston Globe said the album was not an instant classic, but it is the best rap album since Kanye West dropped Graduation last year. Eric R. Danton of the Hartford Courant said of Lil Wayne, "If his raspy, cartoonish voice didn't mark him as different, his quick wit, off-handed wordplay, and quirky subject matter should have in a genre populated largely by grim-faced imitators." Other reviews are average or mixed. Chase Hofberger of the Austin Chronicle gave the album 3 stars out of 5 and said, "It's Wayne's personality that both floats and sinks Ki." Killian Murphy of Hot Press also gave it a score of 3 out of 5 and stated, "Gifted MC loses the run of himself without Manny Fresh." Lewis P. of Sputnik Music likewise gave it a score of 3 out of 5 and said the album is scattershot, which oddly strengthens its faults. As if any lull in quality means that the next batch of producers can just reset the formula. Aya Paul-Manjat of Tiny Mixtapes gave the album 2.5 stars out of 5 and stated that, equipped with the stylish, but too often substance-less Carter III, Lil Wayne seems poised to flip the script on the rap racists by evolving into the biggest rapper alive. Accolades. Carter III was ranked number 1 in Blender's list of the 33 best albums of 2008. Christgau ranked its deluxe edition as the second best album of 2008. The album was also ranked number 3 on Rolling Stone's list of the top 50 albums of 2008. It was nominated for a Grammy Award for Album of the Year, and it won for Best Rap Album at the 2009 Grammy Awards. While Lollipop won for Best Rap Song and Milli won for Best Rap Solo Performance. Billboard magazine ranked the album number 103 on its list of the top 200 albums of the decade. In 2012, the album was ranked number 437 on Rolling Stone's list of the 500 greatest albums of all time. In 2012, Complex named the album one of the classic albums of the last decade. Commercial performance. With opening day sales figures of approximately 423,000, the album sold 1,005,545 copies in its first week in the United States. With its first week sales, it is the largest first-week sales for any album in 2008 in the United States and the first album to reach the million mark in 1 week since 50 Cent's The Massacre. Carter III has also reached the top spot in the Canadian Albums Chart, selling nearly 21,000 units. Elsewhere, the album achieved moderate success, entering at only number 23 in the UK and number 34 on the Irish Album Chart. In the album's second week, it sold a reported 309,000 copies, helping Carter III towards becoming Lil Wayne's most successful selling album to date. Carter III had sold approximately 2.88 million copies in 2008, after selling another 985,000 and 964,000 in 2-week span, week June 24, July 8, and well over 697,000 the following week in a 7-day span, becoming 2008's best-selling album. By the end of 2008, it was named the best-selling album of the year in the United States by Billboard. On February 12, 2009, the album was certified triple platinum by the Recording Industry Association of America, following shipments of 3 million copies. As of July 2011, it has sold 3.6 million copies in the US and 6.6 million copies worldwide. Brought to you by WikiVidi Documentaries. Would you like to know more?